And forevermore. That's true. And fade. Scene. Song was The Pack is Back by Raven. What's up? All right. Just checking in. Was just in the Robert Wallace live stream. Very cool. He's got cool effects. He is putting up stuff here so that he can go into stories. I love that. I actually love that. I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to educate myself on something like that because that could help me immensely. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming on over to the live stream. Good to see you all. Good of you to be here. Yeah, everybody's saying hello. Yeah, that, you know what? I need something like that. I think that would help me. Then I just, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It'd be cool if I could like click something and it'd come up and I could talk a little bit about it. I like that idea. That'd be cool. Unfortunately, I graduated in 1990 and computers were just on the very cusp of, well, really, no, they weren't even on the cusp. That was at a time in life when we had just got off, taking typing class with the little roto thing that and it was cutting edge that you could actually like backspace and take the letter off that you mistyped. Yeah. Yeah. So it would be very cool to be able to introduce myself to some new technology. I'll work on that. I did just want to check in. It's been a quiet couple days on the Q boards. Very quiet. Today being Thursday, even though it's technically Friday, but being today Thursday, I'll just say Rod Rosenstein was supposed to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and he bowed out. He bailed. He did not want anything to do with it. That man, who is the AAG, the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, bailed out and did not want to answer questions, especially from the Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee. He did not want to. I don't blame him. If you don't know who Rod Rosenstein is, if you've been following what's been going on with the FISA documents, the FISA was what initially allowed the FBI to start audio, basically bugging the Trump campaign. It was all based on rumor and speculation. However, in order for them to go forward and actually start bugging Trump in Trump Tower, they had to get a federal judge to sign off on the FISA warrants. Rod Rosenstein is one of those that signed off. In fact, he's the final one that signed off on the FISA warrants. They're only good for 90 days per signature. He was number 4. This is while they tried to gather information, tried to show the collusion between Trump and the Russians, all that shit that was going on. He was number 4. That was Rod Rosenstein. He is between the proverbial rock and a hard place. He cannot disclose the FISA documents, even though he's perfectly able to, but he can't inwardly, knowing that when he does, it implicates him. He's in a rock and a hard place. So what's going to happen? In my opinion, what's going to happen going forward is that President Trump is going to have to he's going to have to subpoena Rod Rosenstein to stand before the Senate Judiciary Committee. And he's also going to probably just full-blown release the FISA documents. That's what's going to happen, I believe. I think that's what's going to happen. And when that happens, he's going to have no option but to step down, recuse himself. As soon as that happens, you want to talk about the snowball starting down the top of the mountain, like with Judge Kavanaugh. Once Kavanaugh was confirmed, the snowball started rolling. Once Rosenstein recuses or whatever, steps down from what he is as the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, this snowball is going to get huge. It's going to be humongous. It's going to be enormous. And it's going to be what brings down the House. It's going to be what brings down everything. This has been a crazy journey. It's been nuts. We've been following. We've been listening. What's funny is that there's people out there that have no damn clue that this is going on, but this is going to... Let me step away from that for a second. Let me talk to you about the stock market. Our stock market went down 830 points yesterday. Today, it followed it up with another 500 and almost 50 point drop today. Guys, in the land of stock market, that's big, big, big ass money. And people that have 401ks and IRAs and all of that, that's a lot of damn money that's left the stock market. This could be a final play by the Democrats. Easily could be a final play that they're going to make their final play and try to disrupt the currency. These are huge numbers that are leaving the stock market. Huge. We'll see how it plays out. We will see how it plays out. But just know that what's left the stock market in the last 2 days is not normal. It's not normal. So there's that. It's not normal at all. So, pardon me. It's a lot of money that's leaving. And what that means going forward. Now, I'm going to tell you a piece of information that some of you might know and some of you might not know. But on October 10th, of the year 1988. I was a junior in high school. No, I was a sophomore in high school. October of 1988. There was a magazine that came out called The Economist magazine. It still very much comes out every year. It's a Rothschild owned magazine. And on the cover of that was a phoenix. A phoenix is a bird. A bird. This is where that would be cool for me to be able to put that picture up, but you're just going to have to trust me. In 1988, they released this magazine cover. It showed the phoenix, which is a bird, standing on a pile of world currencies that were in flames. These world currencies were in flames. And around the phoenix, if you can't picture what that is, think of an eagle. But around the neck of this phoenix was a gold medallion that it basically had like a hash graph that you see in cryptocurrencies with the number 2018. But this was released on 10/10/1988. And it said, "Get ready for a new world currency." That was 30 years ago as of yesterday. Our stock market has never been higher in its existence than it's been in the last up until yesterday. I mean, it was setting new records ever. It dropped 800 points yesterday and another 550 points today. What were they telling us? What were they telling us back then? They were telling us something. I think it could be the final play out of the deep state. It just, time will tell. Let's see what tomorrow brings. We'll see what the market does tomorrow, but it's impossible to think about something like that from 1988 to say, get ready for a new world current or is the world ready for one? I don't know it off the top of my head. It's something like, is the world ready for a one world currency, or get ready for a one world currency, a new world currency? The phoenix / eagle was standing on all of the different dollars of the world, and they were burning up. They were in flames. They were sometimes irony is more than irony. And it just so happens to land on the day 30 years later, to the day as it would be, that we have this 800-point crash in the stock market. Now, time will tell, but even back in 1988, they could have they couldn't have thought of President Trump being the president at that time, unless we're all being played. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable in my opinion. We could be. I don't think we are, but it could be. Everything we've been fighting for, learning about truth, all of that could be to point us into a one world currency. But I think that I think in their plans, I think they planned on, maybe not at the time, they didn't plan on Hillary being, what she was going to be, which was president, but they figured that they would insert their puppet into the globalist agenda. And then that would be enough. It just so happened that Hillary was lined up to be that person. They weren't thinking of that in 1988, only that they would have their person in place to insert this one world currency. And this all started back when JFK was assassinated. I mean, true president that was against the globalist agenda. The very word of secrecy is repugnant. Those are the kinds of things that he said. The next one that came along was Reagan. Reagan had big ideas to get rid of deep state, and they tried to kill him in his first year, and then they got his mind right. Ever since Reagan, really, it's been totally controllable puppets. And Reagan actually became a controllable puppet, but his heart was in the right place. Now Trump's in there. He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He's fighting for all of us. And though I could see us going to a world currency, I think it's going to be in our favor. See, they could say in 1988, get ready for a one world currency. And if you got the wrong person in the position of authority, then that could play out to make you all slaves. But if you had the right person in that position of authority, where they're going to crash the central banking system, which is going to happen, in my opinion, it's going to happen. They're going to crash the central banking system. That's not a bad thing. The central banking system is what makes you a slave. It makes me a slave. It makes us all slaves. The Fed is a central banking system. The Federal Reserve is a central banking system. One of many throughout the world that is run and controlled by the Rothschilds. It just is. That's how it works. Part of this entire deep state globalist takedown is to nationalize each individual country with their own currency. That's how this works. That's the only way that we can rid ourselves of the deep state, is to get into a nationalist. We have to become nationalist within our own countries. Every country. China, use your own money. Russia, use your own money. South Korea, use your own money. India, use your own money. America, use your own money. South America, use your own money system. That's internally. Because how can I best put this? If we are run by a central bank here in America that's called the Fed, do you know what's not controlled by the Fed? The United States Treasury. The coins, your quarters, your half dollars, your dimes, your nickels, your pennies, and even in some cases, your $1 coins. Those are all issued by the Treasury, not by the Federal Reserve. The only thing issued by the Federal Reserve is your $1 bill, your $2 bill, your $5 bill, your 10, your 20, your 50, your 100. That is a federal note. Actual currency is your change. Your change. They're going to do away with the Federal Reserve notes. They're going to get rid of them. Why? That is the very piece of monetary that enslaves you. It's what enslaves me. When we take out a loan in the bank and they lend that money to you to buy a car or a house at whatever interest rate they give it to you, and you have to not only pay back the money that you owe, but you have to pay the interest on it. That all goes to the central banking system. That's not out of the Treasury. That's why we are slaves. 100%. That's the part of the deep state that Trump knows he needs to take out. And it's not just in America. These central banks are positioned all throughout the world. It was the whole scope and the whole plan of the deep state to enslave everybody in the world. That if they control the monetary system, they control you. And they're very sophisticated. They're very much willing and patient to wait out this plan. They'll wait. And they have been. This has been going on ever since 1933 when the United States went off the gold standard completely. Our monetary system used to be totally backed by gold and silver, by precious metals. They took us off it in 1933. Why? Why would they take us off it? Well, it was the next phase to enslave you. 100%. It was to enslave you, enslave all of us. And we trusted in the people that ran our Senate and our House of Representatives and our local governments and all of that, and they all bought into it. Why? Because it goes back to what I was telling you about fascism. They root out, like in this case, they were rooting out America from the inside. If they got into our banking system, into radio, into eventually television, they would put these people that were manipulated by fascism in there, and they would give them their talking points, and that's the narrative they would spit out to you. That's why we are in the position we're in today. Trump knows that, and not just Trump. He's not a one-man plan. Trump is part of a group of people that saw the direction that was going on in this world, in America, and said no more. I'll guarantee you right now, had Hillary gotten into the position of presidency, we would be up to our necks in World War III. We would have realistically had a nuclear bomb detonated in at least one major city. These are all things, guys, that I'm not even going to debate you on. These are things that have come out from contacts that I know and different parts of research that I have witnessed, that was the plan. They never expected her to lose. Never. They did not expect her to lose that election. You call it divine intervention, you call it what you want. But the plan was not to make America more prosperous. They were rooting out the beautiful things that made America what it was. And they were going to bring America down while they raised up second and third world countries so that eventually we'd all be the same. But I'll guarantee you one thing, if you're listening to this on the internet, no matter what position you're in right now, your life is better right now than it would have been with almost 2 years under HRC. It's borderline non-negotiable, really. It's almost non-negotiable. Look at how they're fighting against what's going on right now. Step back and take a deep breath and think about everything that you've witnessed going on. Look at the onslaught that's been going on against President Trump for the last 2 years, 2+ years, ever since he really said that he was going to run. They had no issue with the man. The minute he decided to run and started speaking about what we were going to win and how we were going to go about taking out this globalist agenda, think about that. This has been nonstop, 24/7, CNN, propaganda, MSNBC against our president, our duly elected president. And when are you going to wake up and say, I've had a fucking enough? I'm done. I've had enough of this. I'm not going to sit back and be politically correct anymore. I'm not going to sit here and take any more of this shit. Look at what they did with Kavanaugh. Angry mobs. You listen to any part of CNN, they say, we don't even, mobs. How can you call it mobs? Mobs? Fuck yeah. Fucking mobs. Banging on the fucking doors. Look at what these people are doing. You have to be fed up. You have to be done with listening to this shit. I'm tired of sitting around listening to people's feelings. Are feelings important? Of course they are. 100% they are. They're important. But to sit here and watch the abuse that's taking, the things that are happening against people that support Trump, we just sit here and we just fucking take it. And we listen and we're like, well, things will eventually get better. They're going to get better. You know, I'm just going to be quiet and I'm just not going to listen. I'm not saying go out there and be violent. I'm not, but I'm done pandering. No, that's the wrong word. Pandering. It's with a D. I'm done pandering to these snowflakes. I'm not saying to go sock one in the jaw and tell them fuck you. I'm saying I'm done pandering to it, you know. Playtime's over. The midterm elections are 3 weeks away. We're not going to put up with this shit. It's time that the adults in our great land stand up and shut these little bitches up. And believe me, the word bitches applies to both sexes. But it's time we shut these little bitches down. Not just not gonna deal with it. Not gonna listen to it. They are calling Kanye West a fucking Negro. A token Negro. Are you kidding me? What kind of fucking bullshit is that? Don't put up with it. Don't listen to it. It's time right now. If you are going to be anything for your country, you stand up and you get your voice out there. And you don't have to be combative, but you have to just look at people that want to take that mindset and say, no, no fucking way. That's not what our country's about. You don't give in to that shit. You don't listen to that. Think about what you're listening to. You're going to call this man a fucking token Negro? And then take that, you guys, and think about everything that you've heard in the Kavanaugh hearing. And if you just spin the clock back on time, you think about the Kavanaugh hearing, and then you think about the whole Peter Strzok, the whole FBI, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page question and answering. Look at the Democrats, look at the Republicans. Who's right? Who's wrong? And then roll it back even further. They've done nothing but thrown fucking malicious bullshit against this president for the last 2+ years. This is bullshit. Find your voice. We are the patriots of 1776. This is our time right now. And if we shut up and we let these bitches, both men and women, if we let these bitches take over our country, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way. Find your voice. Stop pandering. Just stop. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying that this may very well feel like a movie, like a video, like any number of movies that you've seen in your life. But guess what? That was by design. It's to desensitize you to what's actually going on right now. Wake the fuck up. I'm not saying you're not awake. I'm saying it as a generality, but wake the fuck up. Because conceivably, after November 6th, we could wake up and we could be dealing with people trying to impeach our president and trying to impeach Kavanaugh. And it's all because it follows the philosophies of Saul Alinsky and the complete fascist fucking Marxism way of life. Our country is going to rely on what happens going forward on me and you and how we handle this moment in time right now. Did you see the video of Antifa out in Portland where they were trying to direct fucking traffic and when people didn't do it, they bust the dude's fucking window out and shit? These aren't police officers. These are not people that should be directing traffic. Fuck you. Get in front of my car like that. I'll run your ass over. And I'd probably go to jail for doing it. But I ain't backing down on that shit. And you shouldn't back down on that shit either. I'm not telling you to run somebody over, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that's what's on the news. Is that they're even saying that the Portland police are going to question the driver if they can identify him as to like almost that he's the guilty party for not pandering to these bitches from Antifa. Fuck that. Guys, it's time to rise up right now. There's no more going back to sleep. It's time to rise up. It's that simple. This isn't a movie. We are desensitized. You have to realize that. This isn't a movie. It's time to wake up and be loud and be heard. These sons of bitches are definitely trying to be heard on the left. They're doing it through money. They're trying to pay these people to do it. Their movement is not organic. Ours is. If we rise up, it's because we believe. We believe. And we know we can't do this to our kids. We can't do this to our grandkids. We cannot do this in vain to those that died in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and everything that's happened from 9/11 since. We cannot do this in vain to those that died in Vietnam or Korea or World War II, which both of my grandparents served in, or World War One, or the war of what the fuck was it? 1805. I don't know. 1805. Or the Revolutionary War. We can't fucking allow it. You are an American. I'm an American. It's time. It's fucking time. All right? I'm not yelling at you. I love you. I love every one of you. But God damn it, it's time. We have to find our voice. Part of your voice will be voting November 6th. You spread that damn word. You wake people up. I don't care. Wake them up. You show them what you have to show them to wake them up. Because our future and our children's future and our grandchildren's future all relies on us waking up. It's time. You are here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. You're patriots. Every one of you are fucking patriots. You might not have all the solutions. You might not be able to fix this country, but damn it, you know right from wrong. So squash the wrong and promote the right. We have to. It's that kind of serious fight we're in. It's surreal, but it's true. All right. All right. All right. Now shut the fuck up, Bill. Bill. Maybe I'll have some beer. Oh, there. I feel better. No, you gotta wake people the fuck up. Wake them up. Wake them up. Seriously, wake them the fuck up. Right now is our time. So do it. Do it. Do it. So there's that. You can really wake them up with some super male vitalis. Wake them up with that. No, fuck them. Wake them up with truth. Wake them the fuck up with truth. Do it. Guys, forget political correctness. Wake people the fuck up. It's that important. It really is. I honestly don't give a shit what people think about me. I try to red pill anybody I come into contact with every day. Now, listen, I'm not telling you to talk to them how I just talked to you guys for the last 20 minutes, but find your red pill moment and give it. Boom. And don't shy away and don't be a puss. No offense to anybody, but don't be a fucking puss. Political correctness is out the door. You can use tact. Tact. Tact can be politically correct. That's fine. It cannot be. But use tact, but seek your opportunity. When you hear a leftist that may actually be somebody that generally just doesn't know, jump on it, pounce on it, pull them aside, take them away, talk to them for half a second. Throw those truths that you know in your heart. Do it. Be a patriot. Because if it's not, just listen to one of Trump's speeches, whether it's Erie, Pennsylvania, or Council Bluffs, Iowa, or any of the number of different places that he spoke. What is he imploring everybody to do? Vote November 6th. Why? Because look at Hillary Clinton and her agenda. Look at Barack and all of the falsehoods you know about him. Guys, that's a big deal. If we lose the House and Senate November 6th, we lose any momentum in anything that we've had going forward. We can't do it. Cannot do it. I'm not reading the chat, and I'm sorry. I hope you guys are talking to each other, but we cannot afford to lose that at all. At all. George Carlin used to say, and I'll leave you with this, and then I'll close out. But George Carlin used to say, it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. And that was very profound when he said it. But you know what? We all still believe there's an American dream. But the reality is that if you look at the way the country's going and where they want to take it into its socialism, which don't fucking work, ass Venezuela, you have to be asleep to believe it. So let's stop believing buzzwords and rhymey little things. Let's just take shit for what it is. President Trump is the president of the United States for a reason. It's because of everything that's going on in the Q movement. It's because it was a takeover of the United States. I know it feels like a damn movie, but it's not a movie. There'll be a movie one day and it will show all this and we'll be like, Jesus, I lived through that. I saw that. I was going through it. I was wrestling with these emotions. I was doing all of this stuff. But let your voice be heard, because you know what? And me too. Our voice is part of how this movie is going to play out. I don't know why I said it's a movie, but our voice is going to be how this plays out. The more that we are open and loud about it, the more, believe this or not, the more it's going to be easier on people in the adoption, I should say. The louder we are now trying to red pill people will be the easier the adoption is, because it's happening whether people like it or not. The Great Awakening, the whole Q storm, all of this, it's happening. It's time you stop apologizing for being a truthist, uh, being a conspiracy theorist. It's time you stop apologizing for it, because you have everything in your fucking back pocket that proves it's true. Tell the people you can. The people that can't, that won't, just leave them alone. Don't wake them up. But I guarantee every single one of you could red pill 5 people tomorrow easily by just telling those that want to hear and not talking to those that don't want to hear. And the only thing you're going to be doing is serving humanity by giving that information out. So do it. Who cares if they think you're fucking crazy? Honestly, guys, look at everything that's gone on the last 2 years. Look at the Q movement. Who cares if they think you're fucking crazy? In 1, 2, or 3 months from now, it ain't going to matter. You're going to be proven right. So get out there and fucking ring the church bell. Be loud. Tell everybody. That's what I'm doing. You do it too. Anyway, this conversation went way in a direction that I didn't even know it would go. I didn't expect it. I swear to God. I'm sorry. But it's where we're at. Go out there and wake people up. That's where we're at, is to go wake people up. We need to stop shutting the fuck up and keeping this shit to ourselves. It's time. Here we go. It's time you let that big church bell inside of you ring. Ring. Let that little man who's dancing on your tongue jump on your little larynx and bling, 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 bling. Let it ring. Shout it out. Who cares if they don't fucking believe you? What's the alternative? You're a slave? No. That's been the whole purpose of Q to begin with, to wake up. That's why the first phase was called the Great Awakening. We have to wake up people. And if you understand what's going on with the Great Awakening, guess what? That's your destiny. If you're awake right now and you're going, yeah, Bill, I understand it, but some people, blah, blah. No, it don't matter. Your destiny is to understand the message, to understand where we're at, and to go wake fucking people up. It's mine too. And it sucks. It sucks. But you know what? Knowing that you're on the right side of truth makes it not suck as much, because you get to speak from the position of authority. And ain't that a beautiful thing? It is. You know in your heart you're right. Man, that makes talking to people a whole lot easier. All right. Well, yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm done. So, with that said, go out there and kick that fucking ass tomorrow. All right. I love you all. And just you go beat that ass tomorrow. All right. Beat that ass. All right. All right. I love y'all. Go beat that ass. I don't want to rewatch this stream, but I will. But go kick that ass tomorrow. All right. I love y'all. I love y'all with all my heart. Let's save our country and let's do our part to save the world. But let's do that. That we should do. Bilmish. Out.